Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome to my first impression of the Maya civilization coming in the new Frontier Pass. There'll be a link to the video that I'm reacting to in the description of the video if you want to watch it for yourself. Let's get started. I've never actually heard of Lady Six Sky, so that's pretty interesting.
Lady Six Sky's rule of the Maya Empire established a new iron-willed dynasty. She used political savvy and ruthless warfare to bring dissenting city-states back into order.
Okay.
The Maya don't gain extra housing from settling adjacent to freshwater and coasts.
Ooh.
Their unique ability, MacLeod, provides farms with additional housing and...
Well, what was that right there? So the extra housing, if we go back just a few frames, you can see... So they get 1.5 housing per farm. That's actually really powerful. And I think that actually makes up for the lack of a water bonus. However, it does mean you have to spend builder charges on farms. You do get the extra gold. But I'm interested to see if that really makes up for the lack of housing, because housing is super important. That's why freshwater is so important, because early game, you often don't have a whole lot of improved tiles, so you want to get as much population as you want working tiles. But the extra farms, that's actually going to really push them in maybe a more of a tall style of play. But let's continue.
MacLeod provides farms with additional housing and gold, as well as additional amenities for every luxury resource next to the city center.
I'm curious if the additional luxuries from being next to the city center counts if you settle on the luxury, but that extra amenity is probably, I mean, I don't think I would go out of my way to settle next to a luxury to get it if there was a better city location nearby, but it is going to be a nice little thing just to get an extra amenity every now and again when you settle a city. So far, I'm a little bit dubious of how strong they are, but I kind of trust the developers. They're going to add some bonuses here that'll really make them shine.
The Maya unique unit is the Hulche. This ranged unit replaces the archer and has a higher base strength. They also get extra combat strength when attacking wounded units.
Okay, so that seems like a pretty powerful unit. If we come back here, you can see the base strength is 28. And I think the base strength for an archer is actually 25. So they're only slightly stronger. And they're not any stronger on the defense. However, archer unique unit replacements are really, really powerful because they come so early into the game. And so that makes archer power spikes, particularly on deity difficulty, much better, because usually archers are your early game power spike. So getting an even better archer, as long as they're not too much more expensive than a normal archer, this could be a very, very powerful unit for early game conquest. The fact that they also do extra damage when they're attacking wounded units really kind of makes them very, very strong. Okay, so this is the observatory. Replaces the campus. You get +2 science for each bonus. You get +2 science for each adjacent plantation, and +1 science bonus for every 2 adjacent farms or district tiles. Oh wow, they are going to be an incredibly powerful tile sieve. Okay, so that really ties in with the other bonuses. You can also see there's a new resource right here. I think this is corn or maize. And I'm curious if that's going to be improved. That might be a bonus resource. This might be the first bonus resource that's improved with a plantation, actually, which is really interesting because I don't think we have a bonus resource. It looks like it yields gold because this is a plains tile, so it gives you +2 gold.
The observatory boosts science production and gains adjacency bonus.
No, it looks like it was improved with a farm. I just saw it there. Hold on, let's scooch back a couple of frames. So the plantation on the silk, and it is a farm. So this is improved with a farm. So it's a farming resource. Okay. Really, really powerful. However, I think the observatory didn't get bonuses from mountains, which is going to be a little bit like Korea in that how you place it is going to be very different. And let's take a moment actually to let them talk through the bonuses here.
This boosts the strength of all units and guilds near, but not owned by, the capital. It also means cities placed further from the capital receive reduced rates on all yields. Location, location, location. The key to your Maya empire will be creating a close-knit network of cities that maximizes the boosts gained by being near the capital. With a smaller area to work with, thinking ahead with city and observatory placement will be of utmost importance. With a boosted output in science, you can use your advanced military tech to take on your enemies stuck in the past. Will the world recognize the strength you already know you possess? How will you lead the Maya in Sid Meier's Civilization 6?
All right, let's jump back here and take a moment to talk about those bonuses that they showed on screen. This seems right. So my first impression about the farm thing and not getting fresh water was kind of negative. However, they do give them enough bonuses in terms of farming and stuff to really make up for that. Getting the additional housing and gold from each farm is a pretty big deal. And this civ is going to be, I think this is the tall civ. Like, it used to be Congo was the tall civ, but now the Maya are going to be the tall civ because they're just going to have a ton of housing and they're going to get a ton of signs from those farms as well. The observatory is really, really powerful because you have a little bit more control about how you want to improve it. And you put it down next to a plantation, boom, +2 sites. And then you just got to put 2 farms beside it and you got a +3 observatory. And a +3 campus is all you need to trigger the extra 50% sites from the rationalism card. So these are definitely going to be a very, very powerful, tall civilizations because you get +10 yields to all cities within 6 tiles of your capital, but -15% to all yields from cities further out than that. So this is definitely going to be the kind of civ where you turtle up and build a sort of quick, small, dense network of cities, and then sort of really Sim City. This is the Sim City civ, as far as I'm concerned. They have a really, really powerful early game unique unit that will be very good at expanding. If you're boxed in, you'll be able to take out people who are nearby. If you aren't boxed in, it'll keep you safe. You'll be able to defend yourself really well with the archer. You could probably skip crossbowmen for quite a long time as the Mayas with that Hulche because it's just so powerful. I think this is going to be an incredibly powerful civ. Like, really, if you think about it, like a normal farm triangle, as any other civ, gives you, let's say you're doing it on grassland, so you'll get 12 food total and 1.5 housing. As the Maya, you get 4.5 housing, 12 food, and 3 gold, and potentially science out of that as well. So they're going to be really, really efficient at building these huge, high population cities that can actually justify working those specialist slots and working farms, because one of the big limiting factors in whether or not you want to work farms is actually your housing, believe it or not, because past a certain point, it's not worth it to work farms because the return on investment of actually working them isn't going to pay off, because as you get closer and closer to your housing limit, you get progressively less and less food from working it. I think this is going to be a very, very good sort of condensed civ where you have a really sort of fairly small empire. We're talking like 6 to 7, maybe 8 cities, depending on how you kind of slot them down. And you're going to be able to do a lot of really, really cool stuff with them in terms of building a really tall and condensed empire that has a huge amount of population. It's a very interesting civ. I'm really, really excited to play them, and I'm also really excited to see what Grand Columbia holds. It's also cool to see some of the new unique resources, and I think so. If I were to give these guys a rating, like in compared to other civs in the game, I would put these guys on a similar tier as Korea. Maybe like a tier down. Like if Korea is S tier, these guys would be A tier based on my first impression here, because they have a similar ability to generate a crazy amount of science and build a really big sort of strong empire with only a few cities. However, Korea gets that science a little bit easier, but the benefit of the Maya is their potential is actually quite a bit better than Korea. So all in all, I'm gonna say these guys are really, really strong. That's my first impression. I think these guys are going to be really, really strong, and they're going to be a pain to play against in multiplayer and in single player, but they're going to be really, really fun to SimCity in single player. The only thing that I think they might struggle with a little bit is actually getting enough culture, but if you can get yourself a couple of theater squares or maybe a wonder or two that boosts your culture, you should be fine, especially if you add in things like the audience chamber that gives you a ton of amenities and housing by having governors in place. these guys have the potential to really run away with a game on like 4 or 5 cities, which is kind of insane if you really think about it. Because if you can get fast campus adjacency bonuses, if you can get fast rationalism, you will be growing really big cities as this civ, so you'll get the full 100% rationalism bonus. This is the science civ, and I'm super excited to play them. I feel like, I did say they were slightly lower than Korea, but I think they could actually, depending on how the map spawn goes, kind of push Korea out of that top spot for being a science civ. Really just comes down to how you play them. Korea do have a lot of really powerful bonuses for science, so it would be hard to push them out, but I think if there's a civ that's going to do it, it's the Maya. But that's it for my first impression of the Maya. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!